Wasn't expecting that, sorry. In 1985, a man by the name of John Hughes wrote, directed, and produced a movie that was intentionally intended for a high school audience, but that ended up sweeping the nation because of its content. On its surface, the film was nothing special, just 5 high school students, their assistant principal, and a janitor serving a Saturday detention. To this day, The Breakfast Club remains one of the most popular high school movies of all time, earning itself a #1 ranking on Entertainment Weekly's list of the 50 best high school movies of all time. The movie's success has a great deal to do with what's under its surface, the fact that it revolutionized the public viewpoint of the stereotypes in high schoolers. John Hughes brought together, as he called them, a criminal, a nerd, an athlete, a princess, and a basket case, which has the potential to go in any fictional direction as it is. What's more, he made them like each other at the end of a long day of detention, and, granted, running around the school venting about family problems and smoking marijuana. Since we're obviously not at a fictional graduation, what does this have to do with all of us? Because we spend so much time at the school, I think that we as students don't realize how different we are when compared to the social norm. When we grew up as kids, we were surrounded by shows such as Doug and Boy Meets World and Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, in which the social stereotypes in the school setting were clearly defined. Athletes were bullies and typically not that smart. Cheerleaders were overly peppy airheads who gossip about each other. Members of clubs such as Mu Alpha Theta and robotics dress exactly like Steve Urkel and rarely achieve social success. Actors are overly dramatic and are far eager to compare entertainment to real life. I may give you that one. My point is that the entertainment industry over-dramatizes social stereotypes to an exhausting point, and this influence pigeonholes modern-day high schoolers into falling for the aforementioned traps. However, we, as a school, have avoided the misfortune of these common stereotypes simply because we don't have time for them. Let's look at some telling facts. We have a baseball team that has won 7 state championships since 2003. I hope I got that stat right. We have a theater department that took 3rd place overall in this year's state forensics tournament and was one of only 2 schools in Tennessee last year to have 2 first-place individual victories. It seems as if every year we have at least one student with a perfect ACT or SAT score. The most insane thing about all of this is that, despite some personal conflicts or people who seem to have vendettas against the entire world, we all get along pretty well. In a fairly competitive high school, that's not easy. In addition to that, we've risen to the challenge and far exceeded the expectations. Instead of bullying athletes, we have a football team full of good guys fighting for a common goal. Instead of airheaded cheerleaders, we've got a squad of nice girls cheering their team even when all hope seems lost. Instead of being socially awkward and fashionably challenged, the members of Mu Alpha Theta and the Robotics Club are extremely comfortable with themselves, their friends, and their crafts. Instead of being overly dramatic actors, well, we're trying. So what's the takeaway from all of this? To be involved with as many extracurriculars as possible and have no time to stop and smell the roses? No, that's not what I'm talking about. The takeaway is very simple. We're a weird school. We had a starting defensive lineman in the ensemble of APAC's spring musical, Pirates of Penzance. We have Humanities Academy filled with different classes of students, the greatest successes of which were achieved by a volleyball player and a member of ROTC. Even the school mascot's not your typical friend of jocks who's not really a jock himself. He's a wacky theater kid with a beard and an advertisement for the upcoming comedy improv show on the tip of his tongue. For those of you who don't know, that was me. I wrote that joke when I had a beard and an improv show to advertise and when I was the mascot. The last comedy improv show of the year was last Friday, after which Kevin Sellers shaved my beard and with it shaved away 2 of my jokes. And my mascotting days are gone, so that makes 3. At the end of The Breakfast Club, the criminal walks away from his days in detention with his fist held high in the air. A spoiler alert coming up, but it's important to my point. Because in the midst of a life filled with hardships, he got the girl. They didn't click, and it wasn't at all easy, but he got her just once. To you, my fellow classmates, I say, congrats on being wacky. It wasn't easy, but we've officially broken the mold into which society has been pigeonholing high schoolers for years. Additionally, all of us here only had one opportunity to do it, and we did it, with grace, ease, and more than a few state championships along the way. To wrap up the speech, and to further break the mold of senior speeches throughout the time, I'd like to quote Charlie Chaplin.